Get ready, listeners, because today we are diving deep, deep into the fascinating world of feline neuroscience.
It's really incredible, how much we're learning about how our feline friends experience, well, the world, really.
And this study we're looking at today is a perfect example, straight from the Journal of Neuroscience Methods, using EEG on cats in a way that's, well, never been done before.
Yeah, the big thing here is they were able to get these brainwave readings from cats who were awake.
No sedation.
No,
Ah.
no implanted electrodes, just clear brain activity.
So we're talking like little tiny electrode hats on these cats.
Yeah, they use these specially designed electrode hats.
I can't even imagine. Were the cats like freaking out?
Surprisingly, no. They tolerated it pretty well, actually. They made sure the cats were comfortable, used treats, and, positive reinforcement.
Of course, treats.
Yeah, I love them.
Gotta love them. But, okay, what were they looking at with these brain scans?
So they were really interested in how the cat's brains reacted to different kinds of sensory stimulation. So like touch, smell, even sight.
Okay, so let's break that down. Starting with touch, what were they doing and what kind of insights did they get?
Right. So for touch, they used a test that helps identify something called central sensitization. Basically, it's a heightened sensitivity to touch and pressure.
Okay.
And it's often seen in cats with osteoarthritis.
So they're looking at how the cat's brains are processing those like
Yeah.
uncomfortable sensations, maybe even linked to chronic pain.
Exactly. And they found these really distinct patterns of brain activity. Yeah, they're called event-related potentials, or ERPs.
ERPs.
Yeah, and they were in very specific areas of the brain.
Hmm.
And these ERP patterns are really interesting because they're like a fingerprint for how the cat's brain is experiencing that specific sensation.
It's almost like their brains are lighting up saying, hey, this touch, it feels different.
Yeah, exactly. And that could be huge for how we diagnose and manage pain in the future.
That's amazing.
Okay.
But smell, how do you even study that in a cat's brain?
So get this, they used a diluted grapefruit essential oil.
Wait, they're holding up grapefruit to these cats with brain scanners on?
No, no, no. It was way more controlled than that. They wafted the scent towards the cats, made sure the cats couldn't see where it was coming from.
Clever. Okay, so how did those little cat brains react to the grapefruit?
Well, it turns out grapefruit isn't exactly a favorite in the feline world.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But what's interesting is that the stronger the grapefruit smell, the faster and stronger the brain response.
Interesting. So the intensity of the smell changed how their brains processed it.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, do our brains work the same way?
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, we share a lot of similarities in how our sensory systems work, although, of course, there are some key differences.
Right, of course.
And that actually leads us perfectly into the final sense they looked at, sight.
Okay, so from sense to shining lights on these cats, what was going on there?
They were testing different colored lights, specifically blue, green, and red. They wanted to see how these wavelengths might, impact the brain activity.
So it's not like they were checking if cats react more to a laser pointer, right?
No, no. They were looking at how these wavelengths of light were actually processed in the brain, especially how they related to pain.
And how did those colors affect the cat's brains? Any standouts?
Well, blue light definitely stole the show, at least in terms of brain activity. We saw some big changes in those brain waves,
Yeah.
especially in the alpha wave band.
Those are the chill, relaxed brain waves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, this could be a new way to, help cats with pain.
Hold on. Are we talking about shining blue light on a cat to make it feel better? That sounds kind of wild.
I know, right? But think about it. We already use light therapy for some conditions in people, so why not for our feline friends? This study is like a peek into that possibility.
Okay, I'm listening. So how would that even work?
Well, we need to do more research, of course, but it could be a completely non-invasive way to help manage pain. No meds, just light.
Wow. As a cat owner, I gotta say, that's pretty amazing. But let's back up a sec. Why should we even care about these brainwaves? What's the practical side of all this?
This research could totally change how we understand and treat pain in cats, especially chronic pain like with osteoarthritis. By seeing what's happening in the brain, we get a much better picture of what the cat's actually experiencing.
So instead of just relying on what we see, limping or whatever, we could actually see their pain.
Yes, exactly. It's like getting a glimpse into how they feel, which is super hard to do with animals.
That's incredible. So what's next for this research? Where do we go from here?
Well, comparing these results to the brain activity of healthy cats would be a good next step.
So establish a baseline.
Exactly. See how those brain waves are different when a cat isn't in pain.
That makes sense. So are we talking about a future where we can diagnose and treat pain in cats using only EEG?
That's the dream, right? I don't think we're there yet, but this is a huge step.
So maybe a future where it's a regular part of vet care, alongside everything else.
Right. Combine this amazing tech with, good old-fashioned veterinary expertise. We can't lose sight of that human-animal bond.
Absolutely. Now, I'm still curious about those grapefruit smells. Why use something cats hate?
We want to know if there are any differences in how their brains react to smells they like and smells they don't. Compare those brainwave patterns.
I see.
And even though they only looked at the grapefruit, they still found that connection between how strong the smell was and how the brain responded.
Like our brains are programmed to pay more attention to strong smells.
Yeah, could be a survival thing, right? Like, avoid that.
Fascinating. This has really opened my eyes to how much we can learn about the feline brain.
Oh, yeah. And we're only scratching the surface here. Imagine what we could learn about, like, sound.
Oh, interesting. Like calming music to help with pain?
Exactly. We use music therapy with people, and there's more and more evidence that it can help animals, too.
So instead of just creating a relaxing vibe, music could be a real treatment for pain.
Maybe. And that's just one thing. We could even look at temperature. We all know cats love a warm spot. Maybe there's something there.
Right. So much to explore.
Exactly. We're really entering a new era of understanding the feline brain.
And hopefully helping our cats live better lives because of it.
100%.
This is really making me think, we've been talking about treating pain, but what about preventing it? Could this research help with that?
Oh, absolutely. And that's something I'm really passionate about. Especially with osteoarthritis, early intervention is key.
Right. Makes sense.
If we can catch those tiny changes in brain activity even before a cat shows any signs of pain.
Like before they start limping or acting differently.
Exactly. We could potentially intervene way earlier.
Wow, that would be incredible. Catch it before it even becomes a real problem.
Exactly. It changes everything. We could move from reacting to pain to preventing it. Imagine creating a whole care plan for a cat just from their brainwaves.
That's like next level personalized medicine.
Right. This research is about so much more than just cats, though. It makes you think about pain and consciousness in all animals.
Totally. There's so much we still don't understand about how animals experience the world.
Exactly. This study opens up a whole new way of thinking about animal welfare, not just in the vet clinic, but everywhere.
It's amazing. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the world of feline neuroscience.
Really?
Brain waves, blue light. Who knew there was so much going on in those little cat heads?
Right. And we're only just starting to understand it all.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to Vet Neurojar.